You ever wonder why some people seem to just pick up languages while others struggle for years, memorizing grammar rules and flashcards with little progress? Why do babies absorb multiple languages with ease, but adults often hit a wall? What's going on inside our brains when we learn a new language, and how can knowing that change the way we teach, study, and approach language itself? Welcome to episode 139 of the Languages Pedagogy Podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and today we're diving into the neural jungle, the electric pathways, the synaptic connections, the plastic brain rewiring itself, all in the name of language learning. This isn't just about methods, flashcards, or apps. Today is about the science of what's really happening when we learn to speak, read, write, and think in another language. So, grab your coffee, your notebook, your notepad, or just your curiosity, because we're about to rewire how you think about thinking. So, let's get started.
Woo! Let's go!
And we're dividing this episode into chapters. So let's start with chapter 1, the language brain, a biological symphony. And let's begin at the roots. When you hear a word, when you try to pronounce it, or when you decode its meaning in context, your brain is lining up in multiple areas simultaneously. Language isn't housed in just one place. It's a network. The broadcast area, language production, Wernicke's area, the comprehension, and the auditory cortex, the visual cortex for reading, and the motor cortex for speaking. All of these regions communicate in a complex, coordinated dance. Now, imagine learning a new language. It's not just adding vocabulary to a mental file cabinet. Your brain is physically changing. Neuroplasticity. We already talked about it, right? The brain's ability to rewire itself is at the core of language learning. This process is more active when we're young, but never truly stops. And here's the secret. Language learning is one of the most powerful ways to keep the brain plastic, alive, and growing. And here's the fact, at any age. Chapter 2. First versus second language. Why it's harder later. When infants learn language, their brains are like open source platforms, ready to be programmed. The critical period hypothesis suggests there's an ideal window for acquiring a language naturally, especially for native-like pronunciation. After puberty, those neural circuits become more set, making second language acquisition trickier, but not impossible. This explains why a 4-year-old can learn 2 or 3 languages without accent, but a 30-year-old struggles with the rolled R in Spanish, for example. But here's the twist. Adults have other advantages: cognitive awareness, metacognition, motivation, discipline. They can analyze language, make associations, and leverage prior learning. The brain is different, not worse. Chapter 3. Memory and vocabulary. How the brain stores words. Now, let's talk memory. Learning vocabulary isn't just about rote repetition. It's about encoding, consolidation, and retrieval. Neuroscience shows that encoding happens when we pay attention and connect a new word to existing knowledge. Consolidation strengthens that word through sleep, spaced repetition, and emotion. Retrieval which is the ability to recall a word, is improved through active use, speaking, writing, and applying it in real world, in real situations. The hippocampus plays a steering role in turning short-term knowledge into long-term memory. And guess what? When we use spaced repetition systems, like Anki, we're mimicking the brain's natural forgetting curve and memory strengthening mechanism. It's science-backed efficiency. Chapter 4: Emotions, Dopamine, and the aha moment. Ever had a language breakthrough that felt amazing? That's not just a mental victory, it's neurochemical. Dopamine, the brain's reward neurotransmitter, spikes when we successfully decode a sentence or finally remember a tricky word. That pleasure? It reinforces the neural pathway, making it easier to recall next time. Positive emotions are critical in language learning, not just for motivation, but for neurological reinforcement. When you enjoy the process, your brain learns better. This is why immersive, joyful, emotionally rich environments work wonders. And why fear-based or dull classes sabotage retention. Chapter 5: Bilingual Brains, Cognitive Superpowers. Research consistently shows that bilingual and multilingual individuals exhibit better executive functions, task switching, problem solving, greater working memory capacity, delay onset of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, enhanced metalinguistic awareness, the ability to think about language itself. Why? Because managing two or more language systems requires constant attention, inhibition, and switching, like a mental gym. Bilingual brains are literally more connected. Even if you're not fully fluent, the act of learning a language exercises these areas. Think of it like brain yoga: flexible, strong, and focused. Chapter 6: Multisensory Input. Why listening alone isn't enough. Neuroscience tells us that the more senses we involve, the stronger the neural encoding. Visual plus auditory plus motor equals deeper learning. That's why TPR, or total physical response, works. That's why gestures, visuals, writing, speaking, reading, combined, create synergy. They stimulate different areas of the brain, reinforcing learning through multiple paths. The more diverse your input and output, the more resilient your memory becomes. So, the next time you're learning vocabulary, don't just read it. Say it out loud, write it, act it out, draw it. The more neural roads you build, the easier it is to get to your destination. Chapter 7: Sleep, Rest, and the Science of Doing Nothing. One of the most underrated aspects of language learning is sleep. When you sleep, your brain consolidates memories. It strengthens neural pathways and prunes unnecessary ones. That's why studying right before bed can be highly effective, but only if you're also sleeping enough. Additionally, resting states like daydreaming or taking a walk allow the default mode network to activate. These brain networks is involved in insight, creativity, and integration, all critical for deep language learning. So, yes, taking a break is not laziness, it's part of the neuroscience backed process. Chapter 8: Errors, Correction, and Rewiring. Here's an uncomfortable truth, right? Mistakes are not just okay, they're necessary. Each time you make a mistake, you make an error and get corrected, your brain flags that neural pathway as needing adjustment. This is how learning happens, through feedback loops. The key is to create safe spaces where mistakes are welcomed and used as data, not punishment. Recast, reformulations, gentle corrections. These are the pedagogical tools that align with that or with what the brain needs. Support, clarity, and repetition. Chapter 9: Motivation, Fueling the Neuro Engine. Motivation isn't just an emotional state, it's a neurochemical driver. High motivation increases dopamine and norepinephrine, the levels of them, enhancing attention memory and goal-directed behavior. Simple as that. When learners are intrinsically motivated because they want to learn, their brain enters a high efficiency mode. This is why choice, autonomy, and meaningful content in the classroom matter. It's not just pedagogy, it's neuroscience. Chapter 10: Practical applications for teachers and learners. So, how do we apply all this? First of all, design learning that engages multiple senses. Don't just go straight to one, just visual or just auditive. Come on, incorporate more. Use spaced repetition over cramming. Incorporate emotionally rich content, music, stories, personal relevance. And these actually work for all ages. It's not just specific age, no, to everyone. Build safe, error-friendly environments. This is to all of you teachers around. We gotta make a safe space for our students. Our student feels it. Encourage sleep, rest, and downtime. And provide autonomy and purpose. And most importantly, remember that every brain is different. Neuroscience gives us patterns, but the human mind remains gloriously unique. Language learning isn't just about words or grammar. Again, I've been telling you this in many episodes here. It's about brain waves, emotion, identity, and transformation. It's science, yes, but it's also soul. Every time you study a new phrase, fumble a sentence, or have that light bulb moment of understanding, your brain is evolving. Language doesn't just change how you communicate. It changes who you are, down to the neurological core. So, whether you're a teacher shaping those circuits, or a learner forging your own path, know this. Note this. You are not just learning a language. You're rewiring the universe inside your head. And as I always say, until next time, keep rewiring, keep discovering, and as always, keep learning alive.